Yes, hello. This is George from Totes Marketing SEO. I had this video a few days ago, and I promised that I would do a screencast for you to show you some of the things that I was looking at. And I know I showed a little bit of the tools that I use and kind of where your website was kind of ranking. But so from the feeling that I received, I would say that you are not currently looking to grow, but rather there was a lot of controversy around the quality of your website. And so I'll be focusing on that aspect, that you can go and show this to the person who currently maintains your website, and hopefully you can get some the value out of this that you need to improve. All right, so let's get into this. So currently I am on your home site, which, so first of all, let's talk about the banner. You are using fonts here, like, you're welcome to, and your entire kind of menu here, in a font that is highly difficult for a lot of people, and I'll explain why. So let me pull up. I do have I think I have it on another browser here. Yes. So what I'm getting at is that a lot of people do search for websites now, according to Google, especially a store owner that may just, before they open, they're wanting to commission you to make a sign, but that owner may or may not have dyslexia. We have a lot of owners that do, especially a lot of the people that are in my niche. These are a lot of outdoor guys that do all the road work. I'm talking about roofers and cement and fences. And they need something where they can just do a quick read and they're in. They're going to be calling you. And I'm not just kind of pulling this out of nowhere. Let me show you. This is a study for good fonts for dyslexia, okay? And they introduce a couple of different things especially with font types, right? So for a long time, people thought that serifs, which are the little curly cues and little links and stuff that on a letter, help with ease of reading and speed of reading, right? And here you can see that they tested quite a few, both with serif and with non-serif font types. And so let me just cut to the conclusion of what they came up with here, is that font types have an impact on readability of people with dyslexia. Good fonts for people with dyslexia are Helvetica, Courier, Arial, Verdana, and CMU, which CMU is like it's made for being, well, here you can actually see it here. They actually put and I love this about this study, is that they actually put each font to name them right there, and you can see CMU is very thin. It has the serifs, and it's made to be very basic at its core. And when they come to really narrow it down, it says that reading performance and subjective preferences, so also sans serif, so without serifs, monospaced, and Roman font types increased significantly the reading performance, while italic fonts decreased reading performance. Okay? And notice, if we go back to your thing, to your header here, not only is your company name with serifs, like I said, these little things that extend out and down. In fact, throughout your entire thing, those are all of your font is serif based, which you probably know that. But if somebody's coming on your site, especially on a cell phone where everything is smaller and they're already having a harder time reading it, and then you're throwing something in there on where they could click. I mean, yeah, sure, your sign, they probably already know it by sight, so they know they're not going to be reading your sign. But this, they are going to read, because this is where the information they're searching for, right? What type of signs and everything else. And now you're throwing something harder to read at them. It's not necessarily good, right? But the good thing is that you have a large banner, okay? You do have your phone number right up here, so call for a free estimate. Awesome. Any call to action that you have on your home screen is probably the one that's going to be hit. They're rarely going to go over here to contact us to fill out a form if you have good information on your website. Otherwise, they're going to call because they get frustrated and they need to speak with you because they're not getting the information from the site. So already there, you're discrediting yourself from having a website when all they had to do was call, right? But they want a specific thing first so that they can clarify what it is they're really seeking out. Now, main three colors: black, green, white. You have a little gray in here, but that's nothing to worry about. It's always good to have, a 3-color scheme. That's amazing. I like that. All right, so we're talking about these pictures back here, phenomenal. However, you have these rolling, right? So anytime I'm off of the picture, or going further down, it'll start to roll. But really, that slows down the loading time of your main page. So typically, you don't want things just kind of shuffling through on a main page. You want a solid thing, like either the sign or the picture of the office staff standing in front. Those are great. These are quality pictures. There's nothing wrong with them. I would say add the metadata behind them. I don't even know. You have these. So see here, even it's a bunch of gobbledygook. I would say that you put the metadata behind it, because that's easier for the balance here is what you want people to see visually and what the algorithm does with your website. Okay, so a web crawler that looks at your page sees all the script, but when it comes to the pictures, all they see is that it's a picture. They have no idea. It has no idea what's on the picture. It is great to name your pictures and provide that metadata so that it can better categorize your site with the algorithm. Okay. You have 4 banners here, which have nothing clickable on them. Have just it tells you a little bit what to do, and it just has a link for it to go and read more. But I would say that these banners are very basic. If you're a sign company, people are going to want to see originality. They're going to want to see something a little bit more cutting edge. Marketing evolves over time, and 3 years, there's typically something new, something more exciting, something more appealing that they're looking at. That's why a lot of brands tend to rebrand about every 3 to 5 years, so that they can keep fresh on those changes. That's not to say that you've already established your brand, which you have, but maybe some of the branding on your website could use a refresh. And starting with simple things like that, moving from just these simple cartoonish headers here. Move to something a little bit more appealing. The amount of text on your front page is lacking considerably. And that's why, and I'll come back to this. So again, I'm bringing up Ahrefs, one of the main tools I use here to look at it. Notice that your UR ranking has no data. For as long as your store has been open, as long as you've been on the internet with your website, it says that your URL has no power at all. It can't even find you. That's a bad thing. That is a terrible thing. And your domain is only at a 0.9. That means that also these web crawlers don't give your site any kind of authority, because it says, we don't know if these guys know what they're doing, but they're not subject matter experts, right? Again, we're talking about quality of your website. This is not, yes, this has to do with the way that it attracts people and brings you work. But I'm specifically talking about quality. Now, one of the things that was mentioned to me was that you have competition in your area that lies to people. Yet they seem to be doing just as well as your company. And really, that's a shame. You should be at a position where the best quality work comes to you first. So that, yes, you can reject them. You can say, okay, I'm going to pass up this job because, the lead time is too long. There's, maybe some other issues here, there, and other, whatever the reasoning is. But it should be for you to reject, not for you just to never know about. You know what I mean? So let me here, let me recap on this. Your URL, there's no confidence in your URL from the algorithms. Your domain, it basically is just barely acknowledging that you're there. You have 388 backlinks. Okay, I would expect that from somebody who's barely been been doing work for maybe a year. 35 referring domains and 68 keywords. Okay. All of this is organic, however, which is great. You are getting organic traffic right here. It shows 24 in the last month. Okay, not bad, considering the type of work that you do. Your banner, and this is the meta behind your home page, is sign company. That's very generic. Finuf, sign company, okay, particularly you, and where you're located, Augusta, Georgia. Now, I'm going to show you one of my, it's not my site, but it is one of my work colleagues, whose site is exactly in your niche. And let me show you what they've done and some of their numbers, okay? So, first of all, let me show you, well, this is their Google site. And they've put in as much information as they can on this for the Las Vegas area. And I forgot to pick yours up on Google, but here we go. So here's their site. I don't know if I can move this up. All right. First of all, also 3 colors, orange, blue, and white. Okay. They have their call to action up here. Good. Notice how they all of their lettering is without sans serif. Okay. because it makes it easy for people to read. It's very clean with the letter spacing. They have a little bit of shadow in some of their titles. On this, notice that nothing is moving on this page. However, they show multiple signs that they've made as just the background, right? So immediately you get a feel for, okay, signs, right? Now, again, call to actions. They not only have their phone number and times that they're available, but they also have a box. They show payments that they take. Let's just go with the content here. You can see the amount of just word content that they have. Not only describes what they do, but also, excuse me, some of the benefits of each type of these type signs, right? And then they went for a quantity and really breaking down all of the things that they do, right? You have a few that you list, but I know that there's probably a lot that you don't list that you're capable of doing. But what they've done is they've actually made links to each one of these. And let's go here. Let's just go with bank signs. We can click on that. Again, they have the same header, same call to action, still all of this here. But now, we can see bank signs. It talks about what they can do, what they have done, another call to action, another banner, or another just subset it, and it goes on. And notice again here the amount of words that they have for each of these. They're about 200 words per section on one page, and that's just on their bank signs page. Now look, they have nearly 40 just in those in the very beginning, but they really break it down and talk about each one, even in their substrates, so that people know beforehand, before even calling, a great idea of what they want. They can actually see it. Each one of those has pictures behind it, what really explains. Again, another call to action for a free quote, and a very simple footer. Their logo, the company information, their privacy policy, terms of service. The contact us is still down there. Again, shadows of ways you can pay. And I mean, that's really what people want to see. That builds the trustworthiness of your site. Okay. Now let's go to their Ahrefs and look at this. This is phenomenal. Not only is their UR and DR ranked at 30 and 31, almost identical, which means they're doing a great job of balancing the trustworthiness of their company and their website to match, right? Over 4,500 backlinks. Okay, that means that they are being recognized by that many other companies out there that they are legitimate. They know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. That's what's driving this UR and DR quite significantly. 231 referring domains, 42 keywords. Remember, they're keeping it narrow. They're not going broad. They're saying, look, this is what we do, and this is what we do with excellence. So that's really what they're doing. They're receiving 80 organic clicks per month at the So this was, I don't even know if this is a recording from last month or not. I'd have to look into that. But I just want to see. I just want you to see what the difference is and where you should be. And they have not been in business as long as you. Look at this. Their website literally started in October of 2020, right? So they are doing phenomenally with this balance and quality of their website. And let's compare that again to yours. only 388 backlinks compared to their 4,500 plus. 35 referring domains were compared to their 300 and some. Organic keywords, you have a lot more. You have 68 organic keywords. But yet, the power of your website is poor. But you are bringing in 24 clicks a month on organic traffic through your website, which may or may not come from any type of thing that's on your website. It may just be brand recognition. So another thing I wanted to bring up was this right here, your signed company, Finuf Signs, Augusta, Georgia. Let's look at what they have. Best signed company, Las Vegas, Nevada. So already they're putting a keyword in there. Best signed company, right? It has nothing to do with Las Vegas signed company.net. It has nothing to do with it. What they've done is they put the metadata behind that as an anchor and put in keywords. Best signed company, commercial signage company near me. Right there. These words right here, bam, commercial signage company near me, is something that your consumers are going to be putting in Google when they're searching for a sign company. What comes from that? Boom. It comes to them first. Why? Because of that quality. So this company has the decision then to say, yes, we'll take your business, or no, move on to the next person. That amount of power is what is the mainstay in our market, because that is what shows that it's not just, okay, it's not going to go in, what do you call it, in waves. It's going to be maintained at a steady pace throughout the year, right? And you know, you can see it. Look at the amount of, and they've kind of slowed down here, because let's see what this is, March of 22, April 22. That's when they were the highest. Now they've come down a little bit, which may be seasonal. I'm not sure about that. But let's click over back to yours again. Notice the names, and then your growth from January 2015. It has a couple ups and downs, and it's slowly been growing. But which is good. That's a solid foundation. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, we're looking at staying power and course adjustments that might happen to your market. So these things right here are reflecting, I think, what some of the sentiment was that I kind of heard from in your office. And I've pointed out, I think, some of the major things that I think that you should improve on so far. But let's dig in just a little bit deeper, shall we? You have one social media link in here, and that's Facebook. You want more. People in newer generations, especially the ones that are coming now into the market and are becoming business owners, they base a lot of their trust off of having the ability to reach other people, other companies, on multiple platforms, not just one that their dad, mom use, right? Which is Facebook. Facebook is now considered the old people's social media, right? We have Twitter. We have things such as Yelp, getting Yelp reviews and stuff like that. Some put a lot of weight behind that, especially store owners for retail and food. Twitter, Instagram, all those, right? And it really depends on what you are comfortable in presenting to the public. But that's a huge one. You want 3 or 4 down here. Also, well, another thing that I don't see is kind of methods of payment that you take, right? That would be great on here. You know, do I know that I can pay with Visa? Do I know that I can, that we might just go with sales orders and invoicing, right? What does your company do? How do you get paid? You know, that's a big one for them to see right up front. Areas you serve, you have them listed out here, but none of them are really clickable. If you were able to involve Google Maps in here, so that, say I'm over here in Waynesboro, I can click on this and I can see the entire area that you're going to be servicing in that. There are ways to do that through Google. And like I said, I didn't bring up the Google pack, which I should have before doing this, but you know. But anyway, we're not really getting into that much. Like you said, you don't want to attract new customers. You're kind of satisfied with the way things are flowing right now. But let me say this, as a business owner myself, if you're sitting on your laurels because you're comfortable, what are your employees doing? Are they comfortable? Guaranteed, if you've lost people just by attrition because of the economy, you're not doing your employees any service at all. Remember, we're already at a almost 12% inflation rate, and the typical economic growth is 3% per year. If you haven't given your employees a 13 to 16% raise in the last 2 years, you're doing them a disservice because they're still having to pay all the other rates that they have to, right? They still have to buy groceries. They still have to buy gas. They still have to commute to work. All of those things are, of course, endemic to being a business owner. And if you're not doing that for them and you're saying that you're comfortable, I have a hard time believing you, because all I see is that, you know, loyalty only goes so far. When people are hurting financially, they're going to go where they're going to get paid. Bottom line, they owe you nothing. So, you know, I don't know if that's the case with you. I don't know, you know, if you've done that, but all I can do is just take what you've told me. So, that said, I hope you got some value out of this. I hope that you can take steps into increasing the quality of your website and of your social media presence, and to your customers. They're looking for an edge. This is marketing. You are their marketing partner. Man, help them achieve greatness. So, again, I really thank you for taking the time to speaking with me. I really enjoyed all of the insights that you shared with me. And I really appreciate just the way that the office feels. And I see that on some of the reviews that, you know, you do have an awesome staff at your office. And I pray that that continues, because that is a rare gem. Again, thank you very much. And I hope that you have a pleasant rest of the summer, and that business stays good. All right.